Welcome to the Middleware Tech YouTube channel. In this series, you'll learn about private method inside interface. All code examples used in the videos will be available on GitHub. Let's get started.
Nine. Fine. Private method in interface. So before saying about it, we should know some of the properties of interface first. Then I'll come into this. So what you know about properties about interface is that, just see here. Just give me just 1 minute. Now, when you create any interface in Java, so let's see, I'm talking about interface in Java. What are the properties of an interface? So let's see, I'm creating an interface here. Interface set. There's an interface here created. So what are the properties of an interface? As you know that interface concept came in Java to implement the concept of multiple inheritance. Let me see the properties of interface first. So interface support the concept of multiple inheritance. Okay. When you create any basic interface in Java, it has some properties. Like if I'm going to create a particular variable inside an interface, like I'm going to declare int a equal to 20. So any variable that you declared inside an interface, that is by default variable by default public static final. Public static final. So what does it mean by public? Available everywhere. The static means I can access using class name. Final means constant throughout your program. So any variable if you declared inside interface, that is a by default public static final. Similarly, if I create any method inside an interface, that is by default public and abstract. As you might have created an interface here called void area. This is a method declared inside my interface. So any method or method by default, it is public and abstract. So method by default public and abstract inside an interface. So that property is there already till Java 7 itself. These are the properties, right? Similarly, if any class always implements an interface, if I have a particular class circle, so I can write implements shape. So a particular class will always implements an interface, and if any class implements an interface, then you must have to override all the abstract method declared in the interface. You must have to override any abstract method declared in the interface with your own code. So you can write here overridden method like system dot out dot println, and you can write here like overridden method. Overridden method. Fine. So that is another property. That property is that, see, interface in Java, interface in till Java 7. These are the properties, right? So, so another one property we can say here, like any class implements an interface must have to override all the abstract method declared in the interface. Yes. So any class implements an interface must have to override all the abstract method declared in the interface. So this already we know, these are the properties of interface, right? Until Java 7 we know like this only. So what happened in Java 8 version? In Java 8 they came with an special type of interface name. Its name is functional interface. So in Java 8 version, we got a particular name of an interface called functional interface. So what is the properties of so if it is till Java 8 version, if you want to work with that, how to work? Let me just, till Java 7 version we use the interface. So I have multiple Java project on the left side. Create a particular project. Right click in Java project. Assume my Java project name is Java app4. Java app4. This is my Java project name. I am using the JDK 9 version. Move next. Finish. So this is nothing but the concept of module. I'll come into that. So this is my project that gets created. Module concept. I'll come into this. I have to create a simple Java class. So you can use this class itself. Main demo or circle demo.java or main demo.java, something like that. Right click, new class, and use that class name as main demo. Main demo is the class name, fine. And use the package as pp. This is the main method. Finish. Now here I want to copy this interface and its class. Implementation class. So I have copied the interface and its implementation class. Now if you see here, the right click, source format, you see here, when I'm going to override a particular method from the interface to your class with your own code, remember that one of the important property is that function overriding. When I'm going to override a function from my interface to my class with my own code, the overridden method must have strong or equal access specifier. It's a property of function overriding, right? So when I'm overriding this area method from this class, I already you know, right? What is the default access specifier for this method? It is public. So when I'm going to override, I should have public strong or equal access specifier in the overridden method. Yes, it's working fine. Basic interface property. So already we know, right? Using interface, we implement the concept of function overriding. So that means DMD is saying that superclass reference will point to derived class object. Okay. So shape, you cannot create an object of an interface. You can create only reference. So shape SH equal to new circle. Shape SH equal to new circle. And you can write SH dot area. And you can see it should work fine. Nice. Correct. So we got another properties for interface is that another property for interface is that we cannot create an object of an interface. We can create reference. We can create reference for an interface. That's it. Now, what happened in Java 8 version? From Java 8 version, they are saying that when creating the interface, there is a concept of functional interface. So Java 8 came with a concept of functional interface. Functional interface. So what does it mean? It is interface only. So functional interface is a specific definition that any interface, if it has only one public and abstract method, any interface, if it has only one public and abstract method, then we can say it is a functional interface. Okay, so functional interface contain only one public and abstract method. So in this example, can I say it's an functional interface? I have only one public and abstract method. Yes. So how to identify that? So what I'll do for functional interface, it will use one of the annotation called @ function interface. This is one annotation that we have used here, @ functional interface. So save it. So if I declare this annotation at the interface level, it will identify whether your interface is functional interface or not. So what I'll do is that I'm going to write another one method inside this interface that is called void calculate. I'm going to write another method inside this interface that is called void calculate. Now, when you write another one method, then it will say that it is not a functional interface. It is giving an warning. So can I say it is a normal interface? Let me check. If I'm going to write a normal interface A, and inside a normal interface, if I'm going to write two public and abstract method, no error. It's a normal interface. It's a normal interface. There is no issues. But if you're writing a functional interface that came from Java 9 version, functional interface can have only one public and abstract method. You cannot write more than one public and abstract method. Correct? Fine. So this function interface concept came in Java 9. The main purpose is for this function interface is to call lambda expression. So I'm not going into that. This is Java 8 features. Our focus is Java 9, right? So it is used to call lambda expression. It is used to call lambda it is used to call lambda expression. I'm not going into that lambda expression side here. Fine. Now see here I have two interface. One is called functional interface, another is called normal interface. Now Java 8, it is saying that you can write a default method also inside an interface and static method also inside an interface. What it is saying from Java 9, sorry, from Java 8. Java 8 is saying that we can have following method from Java 9, Java 8. So we can have the following method inside interface from Java 8. Inside interface from Java 8. What are the following methods? Like we can have default method, and we can have a static method. It's for Java 8 features. So let me check we can write this to default method and a static method or not. The default method we can write in Java 8 interface. Let me write default void hello. So we have a default method inside a Java 8 interface. See here, no error. We have an static void show. So if you see here, we have show method inside the interface. Now what I want to do, just copy this both the method inside a normal interface in Java. Save it. Right click, source, format. What do you find? What do you find? It's a functional interface. It's a normal interface. So whether it is normal interface or functional interface from Java 8, we can write default method and static method inside your interface. We can write default method and a static method inside your interface. Yes, there is no error. Let me show only one. Correct? So why these two method implementation came inside a default method? You can write your own some logic or default implementation you can provide inside the method itself, like system dot out dot println. You can write your default implementation inside this method based on your need. This is default method. It will work, it will not give any error. So default method implementation you can provide inside your interface. Default method implementation we can provide inside the interface. Right, so the main purpose is that that if I'm not using default method, if I'm using some user defined method, then my derived class must have to override all the method that we have declared inside the interface. But if you put a default method inside the interface, then derived class don't have to override this method. That is the advantage of using default method. Similarly, we have another one concept, static method inside an interface. So why they have implemented this concept of static method in the interface? That is that what is it? See, the point is that static. When I say static, what does it mean by static? Static variable or static method, what does it mean is that if I want to access a variable or method without creating an object, then I have to make it a static. Because static variable or method we can access with class name. That means I don't have to create an object of the class. So that means that if I don't have to create an object to access a static method, then why I'll put a static method inside a class? Again, I'm saying inside a class, you have a static method, non-static method, both. So how to access a non-static method from a class or variable from a class? I have to get an object of the class. Creating an object, I can access a static method. Correct? I can access a non-static method. So how I can access a static method? So to access a static method, I have to use a class name. So that means I don't have to create an object of the class. So I'm going to access a static method without creating an object of the class. Then why I'll put a static method inside a class? So that reason, so that's why from Java 8 version, you can put your static method inside an interface itself. That was the reason. It's fine. So from Java 8 version, we have a static method also from Java 8. And this is the reason why I'll put default method and static method inside my interface. Fine. From Java 9 version. From Java 9 version, we can have a private method also inside an interface. From Java 9 version, we can have a private method inside an interface. Okay, so how it is? So just write it first. We can have, let me write this code itself once again. We can have the following method inside interface from Java 9. Control C, Control V from Java 9. So what are the method is there? That is called private method. So from Java 9 interface, I can have a private method. Now you have to understand what is the use of this private method. What is the need of writing a private method inside an interface? Why? What is the need that bounds to create a private method inside an interface from Java 9? And how I can do that? Right? So now see, what is the use of private keyword, private access specifier? Already you know, right? Private is an access specifier in Java. Private is an access specifier in Java. So if I make a private, so what do you know about private? I'm just talking about private first. Private. It's an access specifier in Java. So this private access specifier I can use before a variable name and method name. This private access specifier I generally use before a variable and method name. Can I have a private class concept in Java? No. Remember, there is no concept of private class in Java. There is no concept of private class in Java. Only private can be used for variable and method. Fine. So what is the use? Why I am going to use private access specifier before a variable and a method? That already you know, right? To implement the concept of function, to implement the concept of data hiding. If I want to hide a variable value inside a class, inside an object, I'll make that variable as private. So to implement the concept of data hiding, or if I'm going to hide a method inside a class, I'll make that method as a private. So if I make a method as a private, then I cannot access that private method using class name. because using private access query used to implement the concept of data hiding in object-oriented programming approach. That already we know. So what is the new things we are going to get here? So the private means we are going to implement the concept of data hiding. Private variable or private method. So we got another one point is that number 10 number point is that 1 point. I'm coming to that private variable or private method is used to implement the concept of data hiding in object-oriented programming approach. Already we know this. Already we know. So private variable and method is used to implement the concept of data hiding. Correct. Hiding in Java. That already we know. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to write a private method inside an interface. I'm going to write a private method inside an interface. Then what is the advantage? So how it look like? I'm going to write a private method inside this interface. Okay. I'm going to write a, let me just put the complete code together, then it can be helpful to understand. I'm going to write a private method inside an interface. So this is my interface. Already I talked about these two methods, just remove them for the time being. And I'm going to write a private method inside an interface. So write a private method here. Private you can write private void as we do is a normal method, right? Private void method core method. See, what are the different types of method we can write? We can write public. Just remove this. Just remove it. So public abstract void method one. This already we know. Then ABS. Then I can write public default void method 2. This also, you know, I don't have to say. Similarly, you can write public static void method 3. Correct. So these two we can write. No issues. Now I'm going to add another one method inside, that private method. So what type of method I can write? Like private void method 4. I can write. No error. See here. Similarly, I can write another type of private method called private static method. You have two types of private method you can write. Private static, right? Private static void method 5 you can write. So these are the different methods we can put inside my interface. Correct. These are the different methods you can put inside an interface. Yes, already we know the properties of interface. What are the properties of interface? That save it. Any class must have to override all the abstract methods. Right click, source, override. Okay. Just see here there is no error. So that means just see here from Java 9. In Java 9, I put private method and private static method inside interface. That is the first point we talked about. So we can have the following method inside interface from Java 9. One is private method, and another is called private static method. Private static method. And there is no error. If you see here, there is no error. We have private method as well as private static method both, and there is no error. Correct. Fine. Next point is that what is the use of writing them? Why I'll write a private method? So as you know that private variable and method is used to implement the concept of data hiding in Java class. Same like that, we can implement the concept of data hiding and reusability inside your interface. So we can say the point that private method is used to implement the concept of data hiding inside interface, right? So we can say the same thing. Private method is used to implement the concept of data hiding inside Java interface. That's it. So for interface, if I want to implement the concept of data hiding and reusability also, you can say I can reuse the code. Reusability in Java 9, I can use private method inside my class. Yes, I have used private method inside my class. It is working fine. No error, right? Fine. So here I want to print something just to execute this code, because just writing this is not enough. Let me execute this code using private method. So how I can execute, write something here. System dot out dot println. I'm going to print. What I'm going to print here is that just print some statement like default method. Right. Now we can print some statement inside another method 3, that is called static method. Similarly, we can use inside method 4, that is called private method. And similarly, I can use inside this method also, that is a private static method. Correct? No error? Okay, this should not write. Now what I'm saying is that private method is used in interface from Java 9 to implement the concept of data hiding. How it is? If you are writing a private method, that means you cannot access. Private means what? I cannot access outside an interface. Yes, I can't access. So you have written some private method and I cannot access outside the interface. Then what is the use? Already you know, right? You're going to hide the method implementation inside an interface using private method. That's the property of private. I'm going to implement data hiding using private method inside a class. So now I'm doing private method inside an interface. Concept is same. When I'm writing private method inside a class, I'm going to hide that functionality inside a class. If I'm going to hide create a private method inside an interface, that means I want to hide that method implements inside an interface. Right. So that is a use of private method inside an interface from Java 9. But how I can do that? Already I know, right? Private access space cannot be accessible outside a class or interface. It is available inside the class or inside an interface only. Then how I can use it? Yes, you can use it like your default method can call this private method like method 4. That's it. Your default method can call this private method like this. So this you have to write method 4. Assume method 4 is a private method. You can write like this, or this is a static method, right? So this is private static method. Who is going to call? Remember, one of the properties there in static. That static method can be called from the static context only. It is a property of a static in Java, right? The static method can be called from a static context only. So this is my private static method. From where I can call method 5. You can call method 5 from this static. And you can write here method 5. So what happened? If I write it like this, method 5. So what happened? This private method and private static method, who is calling? Some other method inside your interface. You cannot call them from outside the interface because it's private. It is calling. So what happened is that no one have access to these two methods. So this method implementation is hidden inside the interface, and that is nothing but data hiding. And that is one of the OOPS concept. So in Java 9, they have implemented the concept of OOPS data hiding concept using private method inside interface. And it is working fine. Correct. So if I want to call it, how I can call it? So in that case, what you can do is like, I cannot call from outside the interface. You can do like this is a default method, right? So default method should be available in the circle class because circle implements shape. So default method should be available in the circle class. Correct. So in that case, I can create an object of circle, and then I can call the default method. Let me check. I can create an object of circle and call sh dot. I'm going to the default method. What is the default method? Check the default method. I'm going to call the default method. Default method is a method 2. Default method is method 2. So call method 2, default method. So here sh dot method 2, semicolon. No error. Let me execute. Right click, run as Java application. Yes, it's working. It's printing default method and private method both. Right. So we can access. This is how we can access a private method from an interface. Same like that. Same like that. I want to access this static private method. How to access static private method? Who is calling this static private method? Method 5. Who is calling? Method 3 is calling. So I have to access method 3. How to access method 3? It's a static method. Using interface name, I can access method 3. Save dot method 3. So you can write here like sep dot method 3. That's it. Let me check it's working or not. Yes, it is also working. So, this is the need, this is a private static method and private method. So you can very easily understand, right, from this code that private method and private static method you can put inside an interface from Java 9, right? So this is the things how I can say here. You find it's looking big, so just reduce the font. So that is all about private method inside an interface. Yes, fine. Any questions from anyone from private method? From private method. That's why I've just talked about all the points. Uh, so that it should not have any doubts here how the interface methods are we can define inside an interface in Java 9 and what is the purpose of using them in Java 9. So these are the different methods we can put, and this is the purpose of using different types of methods inside an interface.
Okay, so
in Java 9.
recommended to have a private method in interface rather class.
So we can have private method inside class, right? Already we have private method inside a class.
Yeah, but the recommendation instead of having it in class, we better can have it in interface in future, something like that. Any specific?
No, we can have inside the class also. If you see, if I just control C, if I'm going to write this private method inside a class, let's see, I'm going to
class
write private.
there. Yes. But similar, we said earlier instance method, right? Something static method that we can have an interface rather class, something like that.
Yeah.
Similar.
So the yeah, we have this one, right? We have private static method and private method inside the interface only. The purpose is that to implement the concept of data hiding in case of interface level. That you can say one point, and
Okay.
you can reuse some code. Okay, so this is the major advantage.
Okay, yeah.